If you're like me, you love to watch different financial channels. These are some of the ones that I like to watch. And oftentimes I'll get scenarios on these channels that I can use on my channel. My channel is $1 Million Made Easy to help you know your numbers. And what I do is plug numbers in. So this is the question I saw recently on one of the channels. This couple's age 60. They have 1.5 million saved up. Their expected expenses in today's dollars are 10,000. According to their Social Security statement, they're going to get 3,200 at age 67 and 2,700. She's going to get 2,700 at age 67. They want to know if they can retire now and how their numbers might work. Again, that's what we do on this channel to help you know your numbers. So this is one of the spreadsheets we like to use. There's the beginning amount, 1,500,000. They're 60 years old. They got $10,000 in expected expenses in today's dollars, and they're going to get, again, what are they going to get? They're going to get 5,900 at age 67. So 5,900, age 67. If they take it at age 67, we're going to go ahead and run the numbers. Now, what are we doing here? We're using numbers for the S&P 500 for the last 100 years and simply projecting ahead what similar returns might do for you in the future. So we have 100 years worth of data. We got some worst case scenarios, folks, we're going to look at here. But let's go ahead and run the numbers here. If we have one of those worst case scenarios, the worst possible set of returns in the last 100 years, those would be 1929 numbers. Using these numbers, they'd run out of money at age 66. That's only 6 years they'd be running out of money if we had that. Why? Because you're taking this 10,000 right here, increasing that by 3% a year. We're just using that for the COLA, and it's knocking down this 1.5 million so far that by the time Social Security kicks in right here, the 5,900, when you start taking 5,200, you're already out of money. Second worst scenario, 1930 numbers, you're running out of money at age 69. But let's look at some different scenarios. That's the worst case scenario. What if we just take the worst 5%? In other words, 95% of the time you'd have these kind of numbers left. This is the column I like to look at. This would be 95% of the time. These are the amounts you would have after this time period. And you would be running out of money at age 83, which is quite a bit better than 69. But let's do one more thing. That's considering the worst case scenario 5% of the time. What if we would do the worst 10%? So if we eliminate the worst 10% of the last 100 years, in other words, 90% of the time you'd have these kind of monies. If you start withdrawing this 5285 from the nest egg, actually be 10,000 initially, but then 5285 once Social Security kicks in, your money would not run out. That's at age 67. Let's go back to 95%. We're going to assume the 5% of the time, your money's going to run out by age 83. But that's taking Social Security at 67. See these numbers right here? That's 10,000. That's just knocking down this sum so far that if you start taking maybe Social Security a little bit earlier, watch how these numbers change. Right now, you're running out of money at age 83, 5% of the time. If I go to age 66, it goes running out of money at age 84, 65, still age 84. Again, we're kicking out the worst 5%, but we're taking Social Security a little bit earlier, so you're not having this 10,000 kind of amounts coming out, knocking this down. You'll be able to kick in Social Security a little bit earlier. You're getting less from Social Security, but you still see how these numbers might work. Age 64 taking it, still 84. Watch what happens when we go to age 63. A situation where because you took so little out or this amount out for such a short time, it didn't knock this 1.5 million down so far, so that 95% of the time your money would last. There'd just be the 5% of the time, or actually less than that. Let's go to 96. Let's see if 96 gives us an age. And 96, so 4% of the time in the last 100 years, your money would last till age 79 or less, these two being the worst case scenario. But folks, 95% of the time, your money would be okay at age 63. You would not run out of money. 62 is going to be even better because, again, you're only taking out the 10,000 those first 2 years before the Social Security kicks in. Yes, you're getting less from Social Security. You're only getting 70% of what you would get if you waited. But because you're taking this money out only for 2 years instead of 5, 6, or 7 years, this 1.5 million is going to last. So in this third year, this 5,900, which is actually 4339 at that point, that's when Social Security kicks in, and that's how come the money can last 95% of the time. Your money's not going to run out. So there's a lot of variables here, but hopefully this helped you understand that they're going to be in good shape because of this 5,900, and they are going to take it earlier. The 5,900, you'll be getting 70% of that, but they're going to get 43.39 from that. These are future expenses. This is how much you're going to need for their nest egg. You can see it right there. And in 95% of the time, using numbers for the last 100 years, they do not run out of money. So we just want to run the numbers. We just love doing that. We check out these kind of channels, which I recommend you check out some of these different ones. And then we just run the numbers for them to see how the numbers actually work out, because I want you to know your numbers. And as you can see here, 95% success rate using numbers for the last 100 years. Please consider subscribing to this channel. Please let people know about this channel. Let them know there's a channel out there that will run numbers and help answer questions like this. Otherwise, it's just kind of a wild guess whether this is going to be, your numbers are going to last or not. Please share this with others, and please like the video, and thanks so much for watching.